Mabol.
Hello, everyone. We are live. And as you
Hello.
could have seen from the very stock 30-second countdown, this is the first live stream we've done with our, with this year. And so we're talking Astro, and we have Elian here from the Astro core team. So Elian, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hey, Tim. I'm Elian of the Astro core team. So I work in Astro core. I did previously do a lot of documentation in Astro. Now I'm a little bit working on some other stuff behind the scenes in the UI team. So I'm working on and with Astro Studio and some other things I can't talk about yet. I think the main thing you might know me of is, of course, I do a lot of talks about Astro.
Exactly.
And I think that's it.
Did I see you last year on Vue.js Amsterdam, or was it JS World?
It was JS World, and I will be there again this year.
Exactly. This is going to be a super fun one.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge conference, right? So many people. And anyways.
Last year, it was like 1,250 people, something?
Something like that. Because the year before, they actually put in 1,450 people and they added extra seats, but it was like too dangerous. So they scaled it down a bit. That's how, they could just keep selling tickets. It's not a big deal. Amazing, right?
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, some conferences are on it, man.
That's true.
So, today we're going to go from a Nuxt project to an Astro project. And then when I told you this like a few minutes ago, you were like, "Oh, but we just have a guide on the Astro docs." Done.
Yeah.
Isn't that
actually,
cool?
that's almost always my answer. If people come to me with a question about Astro, it's always, we have it in the docs. And we do have it. We have most of the things covered. But as we were talking about earlier, it still is a Nuxt 2 migration guide.
Yeah.
But to be honest, there is not a real, very big difference in between 2 and 3 anymore. So it should be doable.
Yeah, and so we might actually go over these docs and have a little look, or we just go fresh and you can just kind of guide me.
As you like.
Exactly. And I really love companies. And Astro is a company now. We can call it a company, right?
Well, Astro is not a company. It's the Astro Technology Company, which powers the development of Astro. Yeah.
But with that in mind, the fact that you put so much emphasis on documentation and that you are like doing all that stuff, that's really, really cool. And you can see it in our chat. A few of our colleagues actually saying these things. Like, as a docs person, I can say no one reads the docs. You know what?
To be honest,
go for it. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say, in our case, I don't feel like that's true, actually. We get a lot of comments on our docs. We have a lot of docs, like Starlight exactly is one of our docs products.
Exactly.
And we have, like, I think 700 or more contributors on our documentation. I think I can say that people read our docs.
I am not one of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but to be honest, that's fine. That's completely fine. I always have the thing, like, if you go to our docs, you should be spending there only the minimum time needed. You just want to find something that you use or want to use, find it, get the solution out, and then leave the docs. That makes sense.
Exactly.
I don't think there is anyone reading it like a book.
Well, this person, Romina, who is doing docs and Hygraph, she might have. But the thing is, like, for me, for example, I tend to just want to know, like, Astro is so clean and easy to use. I kind of just need to know something, dive in, or ask you, one of the two, and then just move on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's also like the way we intend it to be used.
It must be like it's utilitarian, right? You just hit search. Like that's the first thing I did when we just went together, rather than you saying, "Hey, go on the left and go down." It's like I'm just typing, and then I found something. It just worked. Algolia for the win, I guess.
Yes, very much. It really helps us. Yeah.
So let me put this thing on the screen. So this is the website we're looking at today. And so we released this yesterday officially as our Nuxt starter kit for composable commerce. And it's kind of like super fancy, but then when you read the descriptions of all the products, it's kind of weird. It's all about snail slime that is extremely expensive.
Oh,
And so
really?
yeah, it's like, well, let me
Didn't
just
know.
here, like this is like one little bottle for $200, but I think the other ones here, 355 for face
Wow.
cream. And then it has all these like really interesting things here. Anyways, we need to have a little fun, right? When you make a mock brand, let's mock these products and these luxury people just a little bit. And so this is using Hygraph, and it's using a whole bunch of different components. So we have a hero component. This is like a little routine component with an extra image next to it where you can just upsell the routine. This is a product highlighter. And then there's some sort of editorial with an image that can have two boxes here. And this is actually a little product icon. And when you go there, like, so there's all these little really content rich things. And the idea behind this thing is because we call it composable commerce, right? So there's a Hygraph CMS in there, but
Mhm.
product data, generally with this more fancy, rich type of websites, especially when you go to the bigger brands like L'Oreal, their products
Mhm.
actually don't come from the CMS. They come from another system where they have teams and teams of people figuring out what these products should be. And
Right.
so what we have done with Hygraph is actually we've built something that's called content federation. So you can federate content from different places into your CMS and then act like it's just normal data from the CMS. And in this case, we are getting that information from a website called Federate This. And this is my colleague Brian, who's in the chat here, has worked on this. And of course, this is Astro Starlight because we like it.
Yeah.
And so, and we even have a bunch of documentation in here about what is this remote source thing that
Mm.
you can add to Hygraph and how does it work. And there's a whole bunch of information here about that. And this is essentially a little platform that just has mock API data that you can use for any project. Even you, if you had a demo tomorrow and you have to show something, you can just grab this. Right. And so here, this is like a little GraphQL endpoint that we're using for these products here. And so that is federated into Hygraph. And so in Hygraph, in our schema, you can even see there's this federate this for skincare. You're getting all this information, and now it's basically natively to usable in Hygraph. And
Mhm.
so that makes this very interesting because if you have maybe blog posts or you have articles about backstage information about shooting these products, you can get this from another platform, and you can do
Yeah.
payment stuff from other platforms, and I'll put it in Hygraph, and it helps you to compose stuff.
Then you have a
So
centralized place where you get all of your data.
exactly.
Doesn't matter
And
where it comes from. Yeah. Makes sense.
that's the idea, and that especially developers and content editors don't have to understand how these systems work. They just
Mhm.
work inside the same language, essentially, which is GraphQL in this case.
Yeah.
And one last thing I want to say about it, and then the marketing is over, because then we just have to dive in, is essentially these systems stay kind of autonomous. That's
Mhm.
what's so nice about it. We don't clone the data, we don't copy anything over, we don't do stuff with it. It kind of just works. And then if you update something, we have in the CDN, we just have a time to live or a webhook cache clearing for specific fields even. So if
Mhm.
something updates, it just works in Hygraph also. And so
Right.
we're especially important that we don't clone it because then you can have like a mismatch, right? So now it's Nuxt, but it has to become Astro. And so
Ooh.
how about I give you the word a little bit? I'll just remove this from the screen. And can you kind of talk to us, even though there's probably a bunch of people here that know Astro, but also for me, because I've used it like a few times, it works well,
Yeah.
but give me like the elevator pitch about Astro and
Hmm.
then a few extra things about what we should think about when we go from Nuxt to Astro.
Okay. I kind of want to say that Astro is a meta framework. So think of it like a competitor to Nuxt or Next. It works the same
Okay.
things. It has a router
Yep.
built in. It can do a lot of stuff, but it has some extra tweaks. For a first thing, it will by default ship no JavaScript and be totally
Mhm.
static generated. So
Okay.
basically, only CSS and HTML will be put out. of course, there are solutions if you need interactive components. We call those client directives, where you can say, I want this component to be interactive and have JavaScript. The thing is that you also have to see Astro as a base layer. So you put something on top, which could be React, Vue, anything you want, but you can also mix and match. So imagine I want Svelte and I want a React component to be existing on the same page. That is totally doable. I don't say that it's a recommended thing.
That was my next question. Do we want to do that, or?
No, in general cases, you don't want to do that. But the cases where it is useful is when you have an old website written in React, a new website written in Vue, and you kind of want to have the superpower of the Astro Island architecture, and you're converting components from one to each other. Then it might be useful. But yeah, not recommended. I think that's the most important. But of course, I was saying that Astro was static by default, which is true, but we also have server-side options, partials. We have a couple of different things.
That's cool.
But I don't want to get too deep into that, since we probably might encounter that, and then we can go deeper into the thought process of selecting which one.
So quick question on my end now. So imagine we use the island thing, right? So we actually hydrate a piece. And let's say that's Vue.js. So for just that little island, you have to load all of Vue.js. And then for another island that's React, you have to load all of React, then hydrate and do React-ish. That's not super nice to do, I imagine.
No, that's the whole thing about combining frameworks. You don't want to combine all of those. One of the things is, of course, that if you have a Vue.js component and you use that on one page and then on the other, of course, you will only load Vue.js once. You don't want to ship all of Vue every time again. So that will, of course.
That's really interesting. Yeah, and I would say maybe if I wanted to use Vue and React for different components, but not hydrate at all, then it's fine.
It compiles down to HTML.
Exactly, because this website that we're looking at now, I might have built this with Nuxt, and I used like how the easiness of use of Vue that I like, but there's no extra JavaScript. Like I have a little JavaScript button here, right? If I tick, like right now, JavaScript is off. It's identical.
Exactly. That's what you want.
And now turn it on, it's identical. And it's luckily Nuxt is quite optimized, so it scores 100 in Lighthouse on both sides. But still, this just gives us a lot of interesting approaches of we probably don't need to add a bunch of islands here, unless later on we add a shopping basket and an account and a bunch of other things. But that might be another stream.
Typically, for me personally, I don't use any islands except for mostly it's a menu button, like the mobile menu navigation. That's typically the only thing I have to hydrate.
Yeah, the little hamburger thingy that turns into a cross, like this one.
Yes, exactly.
But for that, you can kind of just do
CSS. Yeah,
I was going to say add event listener, add a class name or something.
Oh,
yeah, you can do a old school JavaScript skills come back into fashion with this. I like it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like if you just want to use a script, you just use your script. That's totally doable.
It's very interesting. Okay, so where do we start to actually make this work?
We can do a couple of different approaches. For one, you could go into the docs and say we get started from there, or we just go into the CLI and I tell you what to do, which is basically the same. But
how about we do that? Because I already opened this. Is this big enough? Let me zoom it in once. I would say, okay, so we're not going to start the server yet, right?
No, I was going to say probably you're better off by using the getting started page, which is on the top left there.
Yeah.
And then you click
this is fancy. I like it.
Yeah, and I'm on there.
Oh, wait. There we go.
Yeah, that's me.
Lovely.
So now you just have everything that you need. If you just scroll down on this page, you will see how to
start
up.
One quick thing. Just let me check what node version we have here. Okay, we're good.
Good.
You never know. You start a live stream and you don't even have like the basics. Okay, so this all we have. So we can just, I think this is perfect.
Yeah, so exactly. If you are, I was going to say, if you're an NPM user.
Right?
No, you just can use it with NPM.
Okay, but then I will probably have to install or not.
Not really.
Okay.
Because NPM create should be basically.
Oh, that's
always there.
right. And so can I just type like a new... Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna call this. I have a GitHub repository that I made. Let me just give it the same name. All right, let's do this. Oh, you're right. npm create will just download it. Nice.
Yeah, it's basically the same as npm npx.
I haven't used
Oh,
npm in
okay.
a while.
I'm glad that Houston worked because I was the last one to touch that.
That looked really fun, by the way.
Yeah.
That's super cool stuff.
Let's go with empty, by the way, here. Let's
Yes.
just start everything from the bottom. It's really easy anyways.
And we'll just install everything. TypeScript? Yes.
Of course.
Strict
seems to be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's see.
Yeah,
well,
you just
I
have to
a
press.
GitHub repository
Yeah,
already.
so you have to say yes, and then later on connect to remote.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, sure. We just push a new remote. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This CLI is so fancy.
It's actually, well, it was built for Astro, but actually it resulted in a whole other...
Oh, really?
Yeah, library. It's called Clack, and the website is clack.cc, and it's totally separate from Astro now.
Like this?
You're not typing anywhere?
Oh, wait. I have to go and move it to this screen.
That's it.
Oh, that is fancy. I
That's
like
built by
that.
Nate.
Like,
yeah.
People that make like this kind of software in our space. The same with Nuxt. They made Njs and they made Nitro and they made Vite, and then everybody just uses that stuff. That's the way to go, man. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we're in.
Yes.
Let's open a code editor.
Ooh.
Well, that was easy. So let's see what we start with. Like, how many independents do we get? Like, oh, not many. That's good. I like that.
Well, all of them you would expect, right? So Astro check
exactly.
is basically TypeScript and then TypeScript itself and Astro.
Yeah, that's all we need. So let's have a look. Okay, so of course this is empty. I like this new way of doing things. Like we start empty with all the configs and it just works. Nuxt is the same thing. Next does it now. That's super nice.
Yeah,
it doesn't
you
teach
want
me
to...
anything though.
No, that's true. But the thing is that, well, for one, there is the link above. So if you want to learn about what the config file does, you can navigate to it. But in like the best case, you don't even have to touch this file. And if you do, then you probably are looking for a specific feature, and then that docs in that feature will tell you what to change.
Yeah, that's the way to go. I like it.
That's the thing about opt-in design versus opt-out design, which Ben, one of our core members, also has some talks about.
So shall we just run this thing?
Yeah. That's it. And now it will open on your port 4321 whenever it's ready.
Yeah, it's probably... Oh, there we go. It every time opens on a different browser. The one on my other screen. But that's fine. This is live streaming.
So have you used Astro 4 before? Because I know that... Okay. Do you see that little waving thing at the bottom there?
Ooh, this here. This is fancy. What is this?
That is the new Astro dev toolbar.
Tell me that you did this before Nuxt or not.
Yes. Actually, well, yes. I think we released it after, but I know that there was work before them.
Because the Nuxt one is like insane with all its features. I'm sorry I'm saying Nuxt because I know it so well. But here we go.
That's okay. So basically what we do is we give you a couple of tools in there. You see the inspect one that will actually show you all of the islands that you're using and how they work. So if you are using an island, then it will show you this is a client load, this is client idle. We'll come back on that later. And then we have audit, which is accessibility issues. So we'll check your image for all tags, for area attributes that might be wrong and that stuff.
Can we actually add our custom plugins into this? So we can do like a spell checker or whatever.
This is a total open system. You can build your own plugin like Storyblok did and Spotlight did. So you can just check that out. We have a store on it. So Tailwind, for instance, you could view your whole Tailwind config in there. Just like I think that Nuxt has in their Tailwind plugin, like the separate config viewer.
They had that before. They just put it in here. So that was easy. And meta tags and stuff. This is great. So I'm looking through the screen into the eyes of my colleagues and telling them right
Yep.
now that we have to have
Right one.
something in here. We have
Mhm.
to write one. But I
Yeah,
can
it's
work
amazing.
on that. That's all good. Ah, look, what Brian is telling me is this iGraph plugin for current queries on page. How about that?
That would be a possibility.
Exactly. Very cool. All right, so we
So
have that.
probably it's not too useful for us now.
Not yet.
But yeah, it might be in the future. So that's a
Exactly.
new Astro 4 thing.
Very
Um,
cool.
and I think for the rest, we just can start by porting a Nuxt to Astro.
Yes, I think that makes a ton of sense. So let's have a look at my um, other GitHub
Hmm.
repo just to have a look at what we're actually doing. Because
Yeah.
I think first things first, we have
Hmm.
to connect to Hygraph and let's just get like a pre-tag with some JSON on the page, just so we know
All
we
right.
have it.
Hmm.
So
Sounds
the
good.
best way would probably like in Nuxt, what I'm using is like Nuxt has these modules, right? And so
Hmm.
in Nuxt, I'm using something called the Nuxt GraphQL client,
Hmm.
which does, if this is big enough, it does a whole bunch of like super magical things that you can literally just use a function for each query name that you have, and you put a query in a file. So you can just do
Right.
page.graphql, and that's this whole thing. But when you then do npm run dev or something, it actually makes functions for you that you can include for free, and it just queries a page. And that's
Hmm.
super, super handy. So how would you propose we do GraphQL in Astro?
Good question. I actually don't really use GraphQL that often. So
Mhm.
we would rely on the community for that, but I'm sure that people here in the comments will have used GraphQL.
Because I
Um,
have
and I
used
know
it. So
that
we,
you have a plugin
yes,
as well,
exactly.
right?
Well, it's not really a plugin, but I did
Well,
work on like a little Astro 3 starter
mhm.
kit for Hygraph a few months ago. And then I just
Well,
made a video
do
but
you,
not released it. So
okay.
go on. Sorry.
So in this case, how do we know this is working?
So
So is there a
I ran
command to
it
just
this
check it?
this morning. It works. So how about we look at the code of this little
Hmm.
starter I built, and then we can
Yeah.
just grab some stuff from there. So when
Yep.
we look at the package JSON, so what did I do? So I have Tailwind. I think we should do that. Use Tailwind also for later
Yep.
for our project because I'm using
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I am having here. I have GraphQL request, and I have a bunch of
Hmm.
code gen things. So
Sounds good.
okay, so there's a few things we have to install, not too much. And then there's a
Hmm.
code gen
Script.
specific
Okay.
task script here. Okay, so what is this GraphQL? Oh, then it just runs and it just finds something most likely. Is there a config file for that?
Probably
Not
that codegen.ts
exactly.
file.
Yes, exactly. It probably just finds this in the root. So what this
Mm.
is, we're using codegen config. Oh, that's just a type. And so essentially, we use the Hygraph endpoint, which we'll grab in a second.
Hmm.
And so that's the schema. And with what you can do with GraphQL is this code will just inspect whatever that schema has to offer and then make you types, which is super
Right.
easy and handy. And so it needs to know what you're querying, and it finds that in a source queries folder. And that
Hmm.
is source queries. Oh, yeah. So here, this is a get articles function that I made. And let's have a look. So this is so this must be, is this SSR or not? Is this,
I
we have
don't.
to check.
Well, it depends, but I don't think so. Actually.
No, I'd rather not. No, I don't think so. But it has this request function that comes
Hmm.
from GraphQL. And then you just add its endpoint, the query, and the variable. So we have
That's
variables
static. Yeah,
and
that could be
exactly.
static.
Oh, and this is just the Hygraph endpoint. So I think we could
Hmm.
literally just copy this, and rather than do get
Yep.
articles, do get page. And then here,
Yep.
what do we do here? Ah, I'm literally just firing this function.
Calling the endpoint, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's just calling the endpoint. So this doesn't look exactly complicated. So
Nope.
how about we start with just installing these dependencies?
Hmm.
So there's a bunch of them though.
Well, you could actually just copy and paste them over, and then
That is
install them all
true.
at the
Isn't
same
that,
time.
that's a little bit easier, right? Okay, here we go. These are dev dependencies.
Hmm.
I don't know why I did that. Probably because it's codegen, it's never going to be used elsewhere. And
Probably.
then we have the
Yes, and then Tailwind will do separately.
Oh, okay, sure. That's fine. Now let's check if these are the final versions, though, because this has been a while.
Okay.
I'm just doing a little check here in the code editor. Oh, it seems to be.
Seems like
Oh, we're
it.
good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
That seemed easy.
exactly.
You don't actually have to install it, I think. I think if we are installing Tailwind, it will automatically install everything else too.
Oh, when we do Astro add or something like that.
So we can do npx astro add Tailwind.
That's it. Nice.
Yeah, that's it. And it will create both a entry in the Astro. Yeah, it will actually tell you what it does. So maybe I just have to shut up.
Great.
Have you never seen this?
I have used it in Vue, but not with Astro. But the one in Vue changed a few times, and in the end, I just type it in manually, and it also worked.
Yeah.
I'm one of those old school guys who used to code HTML when he didn't do much JavaScript, and then so you have this repetition keyboard thing in your brain.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Let's just, if we can be helped, let's be helped. No.
Yeah, exactly. So it basically told you what it did. It installed Tailwind CSS and the our plugin, and then it put it in the config and created a minimal minimal Tailwind config file.
Okay, so it did this, and then where's that Tailwind config? So I'm just gonna quickly steal all the other Tailwind config stuff that I have in my other project. That would be this one. I don't think I did much there, to be honest. Oh, there's just some colors. That's it. Just some theme stuff.
And Brian says I have to let everyone know that built the Astro CLI on how much he loves it. I'll do that, definitely.
Can I just... Oh, wait, it's a theme.
Yep, it's just the whole thing you have to replace.
That's okay, we're good. Well,
and now we could check the live preview.
Work, but exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need to check how I did the font.
Well, if it's locally in your system, then it will work.
No,
like on your machine.
I'm afraid it's a Google one. Look, we have this Nuxt Google Fonts thing.
Right.
And we just say, this is the family. Is there anything similar, or are we just not going to do a font today?
We could do it if you want. It's called Astro Font. You could totally do it.
Let's do it after we get some GraphQL on the screen, though. I'd rather see something first. Let's have a look. Where were we?
You have to restart the dev server, probably.
Well, that's first. That is a good start.
Yeah, like I have stared upon my screen why things weren't changing, and then
exactly. I've been there too, many times. All right, so let's have a quick look at what else we're.
That looks good.
What do we have on the screen? Okay. Now this is definitely Tailwind is working.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go back to that other one. So let's just copy this code gen file. And then we probably just call it rather than... Okay, so this... Okay, we need to have a Hygraph endpoint then. And the cool thing
probably we do have to do install.env. I don't think we did.
Oh, you think? Okay, cool.
Well, we can see, like, if it doesn't work, then we'll know. So
exactly, that's generally the way we do these things live. Let's just get the high performance endpoint here.
High performance. Oof.
Well, we just sometimes when you have a huge company and you have a lot of customers, and then you figure out something to make it a lot faster, you make a new endpoint and you slowly get them all on there. That's why we have this 2 of them, right? That's how these things go. Okay, so we're going, and then we have to make a... So, okay, we're already in source. What do we need? Queries, get page. All right. And then this, I don't think we need to touch any of this. Okay, cool.
So that will output a GraphQL query in the queries, in the GraphQL folder. Okay.
What I understand from this is that this folder will now get the types used for GraphQL for for the query that we're going to do. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
grab this one, go back, get page. So let's have a look. Okay, so you see, it hasn't actually done it yet. So it doesn't know. So we have to run the thing first, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's one of those, yeah, because this one will, I think this will just generate this folder. Okay, so let's have a look. So we're not going to do, we're just going to do let's just get one page. For that, we need a slug, which is going to dive right in here. Why not, right?
Exactly.
And then we need a page query, and that's not going to be this one, obviously. And then we're done. Oh, wait, yeah, we do need this. We need a slug variable. For now, we're just going to hard code it because I'm not even sure how far we're going to get because we only have half an hour left anyway. So
yeah, time moves fast.
Oh, it's always like that, isn't it? All right, so let me just grab from the GitHub repository the correct. I think I have a query for a page. Here we go. And so this is pretty long. If we have time, I will explain why.
Okay.
Because what we're doing is we are actually using something we call components inside our system. And what that means is it's slightly different than you would expect, but that's what you get with like headless CMSs that are relatively like, how do you say this? Like they're abstract, right? And so for content editors, sometimes, let's say if we want to edit this page, for example, if everything links to another thing, like this hero here, this is like a little component, right? And it fits here directly into the schema of this page.
Right.
If you didn't have this, you would have to make a connection outwards to another thing that is then in hero that lives on its own, which means the hero can be in 10,000 different kind of places. But normally, this is volatile related data that is just could change next week, right? So you don't need a single entity just for the hero and a single entity just for this thing. Of course, for a product, you want to have a single entity, but for like a little hero with an image that changes every week, you don't. So a component is essentially a little schema or a model that is attached to another model. And so users can literally just say, oh, let me just drag and drop that. And so it feels a little bit more like they're page building, essentially.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
But the API still sees them as models. So what you have to do for a page query is the following. You actually say, okay, I want all the basics for the page, but then I want on the components, I want my editorial component. And in editorial, you can have other components. You can have a card, you can have a CTA, and for them, I want all the fields. You know what I mean? So there's a product highlight component that connects to a whole bunch of other things, as you can see. And so that's the thing with GraphQL. You see exactly, or you say exactly what you need, but sometimes it can be slightly repetitive.
So this will basically generate the whole structure of your page.
Yes, that's the idea. And that's where we will find a challenge at one point. Wait, let me just, I made a mistake. I have to remove one curly here. Because what that means is this editorial will be a component that we build inside our new code, right? CTA will be a component. Hero will be a component. But we don't know when they will end up, because when or where, because a content editor can just switch them up. And so we need to figure out how to dynamically create a component, call it, and put it in the code.
Well, it's not
that
that difficult. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah.
It's essentially what Storyblock does, but behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think I already have an idea, but we'll get to that later. Yeah.
I can show you later on in Nuxt how that would work, or in Vue more. Anyway, so we have a huge query here, and we do it for the home. Let me
so that's
check.
basically, we're going to fetch the home page now.
Yeah, slug is home, so we fetch the home page, and essentially, what if we just type this, get this whole thing inside the playground? I'll show you what it looks like. That's so nice about having GraphQL, because you just have a little playground. So right now, the variable for the slug, we can just add this here.
Oh, that's interesting. You can do that there.
You can just play. and
So this would
playlists.
basically have the homepage. Yeah.
Exactly. There we go.
Ideally.
So
Okay,
the
there you
type
go.
is the page, slug, title, description, OG, image, and then here are all our components, right? So we have the hero component, then we have the routine component. Well, if you have a
And
look
those
at the
are your
website,
actual Vue components in the
hero
case of Nuxt.
component, exactly.
Yeah.
Routine component, and then we get, what do we get? The product highlight, right?
Yeah.
The shop this product, blah blah blah. That is actually, oh, that's here. Shop this product. That's the highlight. And so these components come back as basically a JSON object. So what we do, we loop over the components object because it's an array.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then every time we find a type name of something, this is the component that we build in Vue or Astro.
Basically, you just make a big switch case that will tell you, hey, if you get this name, output this component. Sounds good.
So let's see if we can actually get something on a screen. Because we now have the query. Okay, and so one thing we haven't done yet. Let's go back. Well, the code gen we have to do, but we also actually have to query it.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
But that shouldn't be too crazy. So we import.
Well, it's called get page or something, right?
Exactly, get page. But it needs a prop, and I don't think we've added that yet. Oh, yeah, because we just hard coded in here. So that's fine for now.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yes, we just hard coded it, but later on you would put slug here, you get it from the URL, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that later when we do dynamic pages. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or on the next stream, whenever.
Probably because it's time flies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as it's JSX, I'm gonna have to do this.
You could no JSON.parse because stringify.
Oh, of course. You're right, sorry.
Right?
Oh, it's not liking it though. Oh, it doesn't know what it is yet. Because we haven't typed anything. But we can probably type it by running this code gen thing.
Well, you could also. Well, no, it's not. Someone asks if it's technically JSX. No, it's not. It's JSX-like. So no.
Oh, it's JSX-like. Oh boy.
Yeah, which is kind of not the same. But mostly like it's. Let's call it that it's very familiar.
Let's call it familiar. I like that.
Why? Yeah, it doesn't know the code gen script.
Well, of course
we forgot it.
Yeah, we have to put it in. Oh man, this feels like me coding on a normal daily basis, getting half the things. It's part of the game, I guess.
Definitely.
Oh, it actually works first time? Okay.
Nice.
Well, let's have a look in the code, what we actually just got from them. So there's a GraphQL folder now.
Nice.
Okay, what is in this index? So it finds okay, what's GraphQL? Look, it actually found our query. And it found a whole it actually made the GraphQL function that knows about our query. Oh, so it contextualizes a function even. It's not even types only. It makes
that is amazing.
This is like proper code generation, not just type generation.
Mm-hmm.
And then here it created this. And look, these are all the things that actually come out of Hygraph's. Yeah, because of course GraphQL is super strictly typed. So all the stuff just came out. When it does introspection, you get all this fun stuff.
That's why you have such a long file. Yeah, okay.
Exactly, because basically this is just whatever, all the stuff, like I have a page type. You see, hero, parent, upsert with nested where unique input. Like, yes, there you go. And then we have a bunch of fragments. I'm not sure what that exactly is. So these are fragment types. Okay, let's not worry about all of that for now.
We'll see.
Actually, let's see if it now is in fact typed. Does this?
So
it still worries a little bit.
Probably because you don't return a type in your get page.
Exactly. But maybe let's not worry as much. Let's just see if something's on the page. Oh boy. We might need to restart.
Yeah, you didn't start the server, so. All right, interesting.
Alrighty then. Okay, so it doesn't like
good.
something.
So it returned object. You know what? Let's do, instead of putting it on the page for now, let's do it in a console log.
Yes, that is
but
actually a good move.
Yeah, but do it in the front matter. Do it at the top, because
Yeah,
that
so
will
here.
output server side. So it will output in your
Oh,
terminal,
cool.
not on the page.
Okay, so we have to go to the terminal then. Okay,
And now you can already see what it does.
Oh,
It already showed
works.
you. Yeah, if you go back into your VS Code. Yep.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah,
and it's also in your VS Code.
Yeah, because I installed this thing
Mhm.
called. It's a really, really interesting tool that actually connects to your server instance. And if you do a console
That's
log,
amazing.
it shows you in here. But there you go. This is our whole thing. It actually works.
First time as well.
Exactly. Dude, this is first time. We have 20 minutes
Crazy.
left to do something.
Woo!
But
Well,
Brian
I would
is
guess
right.
that we
This
probably want to use something. Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, this is console log driven development. Yes, this is me. I'm old school. It is what it is.
Same.
You see, even the youngsters do it. Alrighty. So we have the data here. So why does it give me some trouble when we actually put it in here?
Since you didn't have a type returned. So if you hover over data, it will probably say any or unknown. The data, like where you define the constant. It's the variable.
Yeah, it's unknown.
So it doesn't know. So what we could do is probably we could import the type from your GraphQL file thing.
So could we just do something like this?
Probably.
But now
not page from Astro, of course.
No. But we can probably do a quick fix now and then say, oh, it only wants it from Astro. That's interesting. So what is this? No, this is not it.
That's not that.
Wait.
We could try and locate the type, but probably that will be very hard.
Yeah, likely. Wait.
Yeah, especially if your page.
Yeah, page is a little too. Oh wait, type page.
Smart.
Space. There we go.
Exactly. So export type page.
But
so
where
we
is
could
it?
basically import it from GraphQL.
Okay.
I think we don't actually have to do from GraphQL. I think we could just import the type from the folder itself, since it's in the index.
Exactly. That's what I thought. So import type. Oh boy. Page from. Probably.
It's a level up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and now let's check if that works.
It doesn't like it. Oh, wait. No.
No. That should be fine. We could always try and do / and then the GraphQL.
Maybe does it export it?
Yeah, it did.
Export type page.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it could also be your TypeScript TSC that you have to.
You know what? That
happens
all the time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I just do this and reopen it, and then suddenly it all works.
Oh, you have a shortcut for it. If you do, are you on a Mac? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Command-Shift-P.
Yeah.
And then you can type, and then you can just restart TypeScript. And after you have used that like twice, you have to be in a .ts file, and then it will work.
Oh, really? That is so much better.
Okay. Yeah, it goes really fast.
Okay, cool. It doesn't exactly like it. Oh, you see, it found it.
It found the type, so that's basically what we did. Page query is not assigned. Then we just.
Oh, it's a page query.
Query, exactly. Yeah, there it is. Now you have type data.
So what if we did this? Data.page.title. Wow.
What we even could do now is extract everything.
Noise.
Aha.
Okay, so I just wanted to see it on the screen just once.
Yeah,
we're good.
Makes
All
sense. Right. So what we could do now is try to build the page. We could destructure the page from the data, and then we have our page object, and then we can work from there.
Yeah, could we just do it like this? Oh no.
Yes. Yeah,
How
no,
would we do
that
that?
will go. So you just remove data, and instead, yeah, exactly, do it like that, and page.
And like this, right? Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
This is much nicer. So then we have some basics. And so
And that's why you use TypeScript instead of JavaScript.
exactly. I really like I said, I'm a bit old school. And so I had to get
Mhm.
used to the TypeScript a bit because it's just
Mhm.
years and years of just writing good code so it doesn't really break, but not
Mhm.
knowing why. And now that I'm in the TypeScript stuff, it's
Well,
just solid.
it's not only just writing good code and stuff, but it's also just IntelliSense. Now you know that
Exactly.
you have a
Helps
title
me
on that
so
page,
much.
and exactly,
Okay.
for sure.
So we could do this, right? That's what we want.
Mhm.
Because this title here, this is just like some
Yeah.
OG tag related stuff. That is basically
Yeah, and it already says it on the page. You see it on
it's this
top
one.
there. Home.
This one. There it is. That works perfectly. Great.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think with the remaining 15 minutes, what would be cool is we have two options.
Mhm.
Or we do something clever and kind of do this switch case to make these components work.
Mhm.
Or we maybe just grab the first component out of the list, which is the hero, right? And we
Mhm.
make a Vue component that we make work inside Astro. Which of the two would you prefer?
Well, probably it's easier to show the Vue component working in Astro and how it works.
Yes, with that, we are at least successful in the stream for a
I was
bit.
going to say,
I kind of like that.
because if you have that, the switch case isn't that big of a deal anymore, because it's
Yeah,
just copy and pasting different components and working with them.
exactly. I can show you a quick way how I did that specific thing actually in Nuxt.
Mhm.
We go to a composable use page.
Oh, you
Let's
do
see
it in
what's-
composables, yeah.
Oh no, so this is only the data bit.
Okay.
So I think I have a components list. Yeah, so this is what I do. I have a little component mapper function.
Hmm.
Can I just
Mhm.
click on this? I used to be
No,
able to.
sadly not.
Component mapper should be here. That's interesting. Doesn't matter. What this does, it just
Mhm.
imports the components and exports them again as hero is hero. But then the thing that
Right.
is hero is the imported thing, right?
Right.
And so what you can then do when you get that stuff, you can just do component is, and then whatever your type name is, and then it
Yeah.
grabs the imported one, makes that an is, and then you bind whatever props it had. So this is a super few way of doing
That
this.
is some Vue magic. Yeah.
This is pure black magic that is few. And if you don't have
In
to
a
do it, please don't.
sense,
You know?
you could actually do the same in Astro, but it would require some more TypeScript
In the
scripting,
time of
but it
Astro
would be
2,
possible.
I did this
Mhm.
with
Yeah,
Astro.
it is possible. Exactly. You
But
could
it
still
was
do
a
it.
hack. It was a
Yeah,
full hack. I asked some
still
friends and they're
is.
like, dude, don't do it.
No, exactly. You can do how is it called? I think it's dynamic components.
Exactly. The
Yeah,
same as
you,
what you
you
can do on React all the time, right? Even more.
yeah. Basically, you just set you how do you call it? Like you import all of your components and then you just render the tag, but instead of it being the tag title, it's just a variable,
Yeah,
which then is the
exactly.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this
so
is
it's
why it's
doable.
black magic in Vue. Because
Yeah.
when somebody sees this in 4 years, they're like, what the heck is this? You know? So
Mhm.
that's why it works. Like that's so nice about Nuxt. All the magic happens below the surface, so you don't really
That's true.
have to know. But if it
Mhm.
goes wrong, you're
You'll
calling
know.
Daniel Rowe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Which luckily I can do, but
Oh
not
yeah, yeah.
everybody
Same.
has that privilege, right?
True. Well, to
Anyways,
be honest, if you publicly tweet, he'll probably say, "Hey, we'll hop
oh,
on a
I
call."
know.
He's
He will.
so
This guy is amazing.
public about that. Yeah, yeah, he's amazing.
Exactly. So let's jump back into it and actually
Mhm.
install Vue, and then we're just gonna grab. Where were we? Yeah, here. We're going to grab the hero and just
Yeah,
render this thing in Astro.
sounds good.
Oh, and should we just render the Vue component and then not do
Mhm.
Nuxt image but something else?
Yeah. So
Cool.
just you copy this whole file and then we'll migrate over.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you how.
Just gonna grab it here.
Mhm.
Go to my code. And do I make a components folder?
Yes.
And then capital letter?
No, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't have to be, but you can do whatever you want.
Oh, I'll just not do it.
You'll have to put it inside of the source folder, but
Oh, oops.
that doesn't matter for now. Yeah, just
Move.
put it in there. Okay,
Yeah,
and
we're
now we have that view component, right?
Exactly.
But we don't have view yet, so now we have
Oh,
to run
yes.
npx add astro add view.
If that's it, that's insane.
That's it.
npx astro add
View.
Oh. There we go. Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly the same like we did with Tailwind, basically.
I'm just looking at Vue 4, but that's Astro Vue 4. So
Yes.
Vue 4 doesn't exist yet. Soon, probably.
Yeah, Daniel is giving a talk at CDJS about Nuxt 4 as well.
I saw that. I'm like, what the heck already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're adding some JSX magic. That's it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to turn it on again. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's have a look at what we got in our config then. Oh, it's so simple, isn't it? It's just
That's
lovely.
it.
Yes,
well,
exactly.
you could give extra options inside of that object that we have there.
Yes.
But of course, we don't need that for now.
No, our component is so simple, we don't need it. Exactly. All right,
so if you go back to the page, it does work still. Okay, so now import the hero component.
Let's see.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're still good. Oh,
yes, Daniel. I'm also giving a talk at CDJS, by the way. What will it be about?
Oh, really?
About everything Astro. Yeah.
Nice.
CDJS London. Yes.
I love CDJS.
Yeah, I did a talk at
I'm
CDJS
not going
Berlin.
this year though. Oh, nice.
Sad.
No, yeah. Like this is sometimes like I had so many conferences lined up, and then sometimes some like family related things happen, and you cannot go. And I hate saying no while I've already said yes, but it had to happen. So
well, sometimes
Iris is not super happy.
Sometimes things take priority, and that's understandable. Okay, so now we have our hero component. So import it.
Oh wait, I have to import. I'm not used to that because Nuxt does it for me.
Actually, I think the Astro one will do it as well, but sometimes it might not. So now you go back to the components and then just hero.view as you're used to it. And you have to change the tag from lower to
of course,
capitalized. Yeah, exactly.
And then can I do it like this?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, well, that's fine.
Oh, it actually should be possible. Oh, probably it's because it's lowercase. You have to write the tag itself with an uppercase.
Really?
Otherwise, the Astro compiler wouldn't know if it's a native component or maybe it's a web component.
Exactly.
That's possible too.
In Vue, because that's my main reference. You have to tell it then. Oh, don't do this one as Vue, right?
Yeah,
so
or you use kebab
just
casing, whatever.
Exactly. That makes sense.
So now it won't work. Yes. That makes sense.
Because we have props and we have some stuff going on, of course. Yes.
Yep. So if you go back to exactly the hero component, we're going to remove some stuff for now. We can just comment that out. So in the hero component, we have there the Nuxt image.
Well, we are not going to do for now.
Yep. And now open it back up. The website, I mean. Yep. So it says, okay, split. Where do you?
Oh yeah, I know.
We're not giving
the title prop at all.
Okay, so now we're going to do that. So now you just type your props like you would do. Do you see that it also IntelliSenses?
Really?
Of course.
Oh, that's fancy. I love it. Okay, and we have to do it this way, right? Because this is the JSX type.
Yeah.
Let me see what I had in here just to be safe. Because I did some fancy.
Well, don't forget that we also have to grab the hero component from page. Because right now...
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
We are still on the page level. Yeah.
Yeah, so for now, let's just do it like this and see if it actually works. So then we have description also. For now, we're just going to go static. I think we don't need another description. Image, we commented.
We can always check. Exactly. You commented that out, so that's not needed.
Okay, so now it should do something.
if it works.
Wow, yeah, Tailwind,
It
everything.
does. And the thing is that we actually didn't change anything in the component except for that Nuxt image thing.
Yeah, sure.
That's it. So
shall we
if
just
want,
bind it?
yeah,
First,
go ahead.
let's bind the dynamic stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do we do that though? Are we just going to go nasty like the following?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yep. Components and then just grab the 0. Yes.
I know this will work, but it feels like I need a shower. Does it know this? Does not accept on type. Oh,
probably.
It seems like the editorial is first. That is interesting.
And what is editorial? That's
yet another component.
okay.
That is interesting. Let's see.
Is that just some basic info that you always get or something? Or is that just like a different component?
Yes, overall? I think it's just a different component. Let me just put this in like that and see what this does. Oh, you see? It's actually correct. So the TypeScript error just grabs some other data.
Oh, because it probably doesn't know which component we're referring to, since that's
of course.
Exactly. Makes sense.
Yeah, so it doesn't know it exists on the type. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. For now, let's not worry too much about that. I just want to see if this works.
Yeah. Well, it will.
I'm pretty sure it does. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
And so let's do the image.
Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
Well, it will be hard because we have to define all of this as an upper layer and put it into Astro. So make a new component called hero.astro.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then all of the template that you had, put it in there.
You mean?
Well, actually, no, don't. Yeah. You know what we're going to do? The props we're going to write in Astro. So in the header there, you just do interface props with a capital P.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and now just write the props that you're expecting, which is title, description, and image. So then, yeah, you just make it, how do you call them? Double point? Yeah, exactly.
Colon, I think. But the image is actually, I think it has a little bit more. Let's quickly check in our playground. So,
because that's harder.
Yeah, let's see.
If it's a new URL, we could do it.
Oh, wait, it's just that, I think.
Then it's doable because we could just take the URL. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So
we just call it string. We just grab the URL. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because in here, it's just image URL. Okay. Yeah, because we have a bunch more fields.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm thinking of how we best approach this. So delete the how are we going to do that? Import the hero component into hero.astro. Like we are going to pass the hero. Are you understanding me? Like what I want to do? So,
not yet, but I'm excited.
It's going to make sense in a second. So import the hero. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. No. From hero view.
View, yeah. And then put that on the page for now. Like that component. We might have to recall it. Yeah, we might have to recall it to hero view. But that's possible because, of course, it's a name. It's not a named export. So you can just import hero view from hero.view. And the problem that it's actually generating is because your file in Astro is also called hero, and then the compiler gets confused.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
this is fine.
Exactly. So now if we go back to the index page, and we just change at the top there, import the view component, we just import from the Astro component. So change the extension to Astro.
Oh wait, I don't have to.
That can be that can be hero.
Just
and hero. Now if you go back to the page, that will still work. Oh yeah, it will call the image because we don't have an image.
Yeah, it wants the image.
It's required. Yeah. So that should still work. We're not passing the props down to the view component. Makes sense.
But for now, how do we actually do that from here then? We have to actually.
So No,
Well, we are
we have a
adding the
very good
props from
system.
here.
Yes. So we have them in that hero.astro component. So now, yes, in the front matter, you just type const and then you destructure title and description from astro.props. Oh, you
Oh
have
yeah, exactly.
some
Whoa.
step.
Whoa.
And then equals, yeah, you just use equals. Astro with the capital dot props.
Yeah, I've done that
Now,
one before.
yeah.
Cool.
And now we can even use shorthands. So you can just do open the parentheses and then just use title description. Oh, and Tim is gone. I guess I'm live alone now. He'll probably join back in a minute.
Are we still here? What
Yes,
happened?
there you are. I don't know. We are still live.
We're good. We're still alive.
Yes.
Someone, you are the host for a second, but we're back. I apologize,
fine.
everyone. Okay.
So actually, I think this should work
All right.
on the page. And if it doesn't, I know what's wrong. Okay, then you just have to use them both separately. So title, close parentheses, and then description parentheses.
Like this?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that will work. Yeah.
Let's do it for now. So it's at least we have it.
And remove the comma as well.
Whoa. Yeah, I saw the comma. Yeah. Okay, let me fix that too.
Don't worry. Okay, so now we have actually the same.
So we
now
we
we're passing the
basically
props
just
down.
exactly.
Yeah, prop valuing. But what we want to do is render the image here. So what we're going to do is if you go to hero.view, you have like a top section, which is section and that stuff. Copy all of that to the hero component in Astro. And then close that section. And now we can use our image. So just right.
Oh, I get it now. Sure.
Do you see what we're trying to do?
Yeah. Sure.
So now let me think on how to do it. So before the hero view component, before that we want to render the image.
So we have to kind of remove this section though.
Yes, you have to remove it there. Yes. True.
But that's all right because if we render the hero,
you're still rendering it.
Yeah, and it's also a single root still, so we're kind of safe.
Yes, and the next image you have to, of course, that we're going to replace.
You can do it like let's do this, right?
Yeah, don't forget to add it in the index as well.
Oh, here. Right now, we're just going to do it like this.
Yes.
We don't want our accessibility thing to start screaming.
Yeah, just do it like that for now. But if we check, it will work now.
I don't think we send. Are we sending the?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just right image there. There it goes.
Source.
By the way.
Yeah, sorry. The view is still so much in my.
Yeah.
But almost there. We're almost there. This is what we need.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Let's check that. So what does it render if we check?
It's not happy.
Yes, if we check the source. So it does give you the else.
Oh, the source is just not doing anything. It's not there.
So, isn't it .url?
Oh my God, is that it?
Probably.
Yep,
yes,
that's it.
That's it. But now you're just using a basic image component. So if you want to optimize that, exactly. Then we have something called Astro assets. So if you go back to your Astro file, then you import image, which is a component with capital I.
What?
From just Astro assets with a lower. No, it's actually with a colon. So Astro lowercase and then colon instead of a slash. And then image is is not a default export. So you have to put that in between the parentheses.
Oh, it is like this then.
Yeah. And now you just change your thing. And now look at it again.
Now
it will say image height. Yeah. And that's something that you can infer later on. But now it will also output that automatically will become a WebP image.
Exactly. Let's just try this because interesting. Like I want to see what this
Mhm.
does because if it makes this a WebP from
Mhm.
Hygraph, it can also be a WebP already, but also
Oh,
something
cool.
else based on your browser. So I
Mm.
wonder what this image tag will do. Wait, let me see what Brian is saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's how
exactly.
next image works. Exactly. We can actually have in Hygraph, you can actually query with GraphQL the sizes and the differences that you want. You can even do like give me a big one and a small one in the GraphQL query.
Mhm.
But that you don't always want to do that. But that's an interesting approach. So let's see what this image tag gives me. So the section is what we made, and it didn't
It
do that much.
Yes.
Oh, it
And
loaded
why
it
is that?
lazily.
Yeah, there is a reason why we don't do that. We treat all external images as being unsafe, but
Exactly.
we can
Agreed.
add it to a safe list. So
Ah.
media.graphassets.com will add to a safe list. And that you can do, for instance, in that Astro config.
Oh,
Um, it's
there
really
we
easy.
go.
So now you just go into your config. Yep. And then if you go
I
image,
guess.
exactly. Yeah. It's domains.
Ah, of course. This is so close to React to
Yeah. And
Next.
that's
I
an,
like it.
yeah, it is. And that's
Because
it.
why not, right?
Well, if it works, it works.
Exactly. Like,
And now,
okay.
when you will, it will not do that now, but if you will build a page, then it will output that.
Let's do that because that's all right. So now on build, it will download it from the external source,
Yes,
puts it
but you
in
have to
some
do a
sort of.
build. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
whole thing
wait.
about like generating as being static.
I
And now we
never
will see that
saw
it
that.
probably. Oh,
Oh, this.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
TypeScript.
TypeScript. Oh, crap.
Damn it, because I have to
Oh,
go
wait.
like in a
I
minute.
know. Oh, I thought like 5 minutes ago, though.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess I'm 5 minutes late probably.
can I do something nasty like this?
No, but you could be even nastier and just don't expect TypeScript to work if you go into tsconfig and just delete the extents at the bottom. Yeah, and then just comment that extents out there.
Oh, yeah. Yikes. Nobody saw this. I tell you.
Yeah, I don't think that it now will. Yeah, it runs still Astro check. That sucks.
Okay.
We
It's
can get
fine,
around
man.
that. We can get around it if you want. Like if you go and remove in the script the Astro check in the package.json
Oh,
file.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just
It's not
never
intended to
runs.
work, but yeah, then it just never checks all of your types, which is unsafe, by the way. Don't do this at home. No,
Don't
you don't
tell
have to
people
remove it
to.
there. Just in the build script. Yes.
Oh, of course. Sorry.
And
Don't do
now
this at
you should.
home, kids.
Yeah, don't. But
But
you
I
see that
just
it
want to.
actually
Oh, there
now
it is.
fetched everything, and that's yeah. So now npm
Oh,
run preview, and that will give you the build page, and that should actually work.
so this is an interesting approach that I would personally maybe not have taken when you work in like super
Mm.
high scale work. Because I'm actually working with a customer now that I
Oh.
cannot mention, obviously.
Hmm.
And what they do, they don't have Astro. They still have what's that static site generator? That
11t.
no, another one in React. That Netlify
WSRs?
bought. The one that
Oh, Gatsby.
Netlify. Yeah, so they do Gatsby, and Gatsby image is the same thing,
Yeah.
but they build one website has 1,000 pages, and they have 500 websites, and they all have
Right.
images, and their build just fails because there's
Yeah.
so many hanging threads of build of
Yeah.
compiling this with Gatsby image, and so it's an
Yeah. In our case, we can do it
yeah.
parallel. Well, not for a
Well, for
thousand
them
images,
also,
probably, but
but they
okay.
have that many, right? It's just not
Interesting.
happening.
Oh,
And
wow.
so at
Cool.
scale, those kind of choices to do file system stuff like that is worries
Mm.
me. But the thing is, we don't have to use it. Oh, but it didn't do it though now.
No, it didn't do it. And I'm wondering why. Probably because it doesn't know that the image is coming from that endpoint since it's a dynamic
Yeah, but that's
URL. That
something
might
that's
be the
not really
case.
for this stream. We're cool.
Yeah.
Like this is something we can figure out. I'm actually quite excited by this. And
And
would it be
actually, it was really
possible?
easy, to be honest.
Dude, it was so easy. We are
Yeah.
actually successful and we did like lots of like GraphQL queries,
Actually,
typing
it
the
was just setting
queries.
up. Everything else will
Yeah.
now basically be copy pasting components and then just optimizing the way you're using them.
Yeah, and so what you were saying before we're doing the stream, like this is kind of the approach, right? You grab the View
Yeah.
file, you put it in, you make it work. And then
Yeah.
over time, you might say, let's go to native Astro,
Yeah.
right? Is that a good approach?
Yeah. That is the way I typically approach that. Yeah. For instance, if you're migrating over a React application, you just take components and then it will already work on Astro. And from that point on, you can start component migrations to Astro native files, and then you will get increasingly more performance over time that you're working on the migration. But it will work out of the box. So
exactly,
that's cool.
because a build will be faster if it's native Astro versus
exactly.
React and Vue in the same thing, right?
Yeah, and you will output more HTML instead of more JavaScript.
Yeah, exactly. All right, dude.
Cool.
I've taken you 10 minutes too long. I'm sorry about this, but
don't worry.
thank
No,
you
don't worry.
so much. You taught us a lot about how simple it is and how good the docs are, and the CLI just works, and it has amazing looks on the CLI. I don't know why that's important, but apparently I like it.
No, it is. It is.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no worries. Like if you ever need me again and want to work further on this project, or you hit me up personally, or I come on stream again.
Probably, because we will release this starter kit as an Astro project. So I want to have it fully checked that everybody likes that how the Astro is built and the approach we're taking. So that's cool. And if I don't see you sooner, then I'll see you in Amsterdam at JS World.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see each other there for sure. Cool. Thank you, man.
Before you go, is this your Twitter?
Yes, that's me.
Everybody who wants to follow Elian, follow him there. And there's one more banner I have to make. Just one sec before we go.
Go ahead.
Let me add it. People, please go here. This is my CTA, because we want to build our community up, do a bunch more, and follow us here and go for it. Thank you for everybody who was watching. This was the first one of the year. We kind of have to, feel the vibes. Luckily, we started with friends, so it's easy, right? Those are always the best streams. So thank you, Elian. And
don't worry.
See you soon, everybody. Happy
See you
coding.
soon, everybody.
Cheers. Bye-bye.